I would say that the threat actor landscape has grown dramatically because not only because of the war, because other trends that took place even prior to the war, whether it's the exposure is much bigger now because the organizations become more digitized. They're moving to the cloud to create more vulnerabilities. Work from remote, we've seen that over the past few years, through the COVID era. So they're way more exposed. And I'm not sure they have much more budget to counter that. So the first thing they need to do is to prioritize, to ask what are the assets that they need to protect. It's not a security discussion, this is a business discussion, whether it's a private enterprise or a government agency. The discussion should take place not only with the chief cyber executives, but across literally the board and the management to work with the business stakeholders to understand what do we need to protect, where the important data is, what are the crown jewels, so to speak. And then, according to that, you start asking yourself, who is the threat, where will it come from, and then you start deploy resources to protect yourself as an organization. You want to project to your shareholders, whether it's a company or ministers and the public as well, that you have decreased the risk over time. I believe that those kind of attacks could have been better managed if the board and the management, the C-suite, it's a C-suite problem, would have prepared the right playbook in advance. Disaster recovery, but also when it comes to communication. If you're a publicly traded company, right now we're seeing in the States that the regulators, the SEC, are publishing more and more on what you need to do when you're being attacked. How do you communicate with the public? What are the basic requirements? You don't need to wait for the SEC in the States or here. You need to prepare that in advance. But it's not only about the communication with the public. It's also how you build your teams to respond, to make sure you understand what exactly was hurt, how you can wrap it and put it aside, how do you negotiate if it's a ransomware. And the ransomwares are getting more and more sophisticated. These are the decisions that you need to take in advance to be ready to the containment. You will be hit, the question is when. So make sure that you're managing your risk properly so you will be hit in a place that is less sensitive and you know how to contain it once it happens.